Welcome to another episode of Barrie Wrestling's Getting to Know. I am Mike Jeffries, and today I'm joined by Grizzly Mack. Grizzly, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, first question, where are you from? How long have you been wrestling?
I'm from Schomberg, Ontario, and about 2.5 years I've been wrestling now.
That's it, eh?
Yeah.
Wow. And what first brought you to Barrie?
I was training at Josh Alexander's school, and a lot of the guys there at the time had already been coming to the Barrie shows, and it was like, it's close by, it's only like a half-hour drive from home, so it's nice and close, so we started coming out with them. They didn't really stick around, but clearly I guess I did.
Yeah, we're not letting you leave yet. And when you started out here, you were a ref for a little bit. Are you the biggest ref you've ever seen in a wrestling ring?
There's pretty close. I think there's only like two guys I can think of off the top of my hand that are bigger. There's a Hamilton ref, John. I'm blanking on his name. He's a pretty big guy too. And then Todd Sinclair that they had Ring of Honor.
Okay, yeah,
he's quite as
he's
tall,
a big guy.
but he's a big guy.
Yeah. And when you were reffing, was it hard to kind of turn off like wrestler instincts? Because I know being a ref, it's not, people think being a ref is easy.
No, it's definitely not.
And you can tell when you have a bad ref. And that's why somebody like Brad Myers is so important, and Abby is...
I love Brad Myers.
Yeah, he's great. But was it hard to kind of turn off the wrestler instincts?
No, not so much, because I hadn't really wrestled in front of people yet. So
Okay.
this was more of a precursor to that. I didn't find it too hard to turn it on. It was very much, I'm not the star, I gotta stay out of the way kind of thing.
Well, it's just good. As somebody who has filmed before, it's tough when you got a great shot and then you got a nice close-up of the ref's backside, so...
Yeah, trying to stay out of the way.
Yeah. Now, your big break with Barrie really came with the royal family. And the behind-the-scenes, because I don't really know, like the behind-the-scenes of how you guys came together, because you, Kyle, and Shiloh are good friends and had some Canada Day shenanigans over the years. But like, how did that all form? Because there was a name, there was a name for you guys on a Canada Day show, wasn't there? Like the...
There very much was. It was, we had told Diamond Jim we were the royal family.
Okay.
Diamond Jim decided he was just going to call Shiloh and I the Giggle Girls.
The Giggle Girls.
The Giggle Girls.
Yes.
Yes. The crowd very much loved that. I don't know how much we love that. They love that.
I mean, he once called Jesse V Van Landen, so...
Yeah, maybe he just didn't have his glasses on or something.
Yeah, they look so similar. But so how did that come to be? Was it just like you guys were good friends and Sean saw the chemistry, or like how did that form?
We were looking just to change it up just a little, change their dynamic just a little bit up, and kind of like a heavy for them, and it just kind of worked out. Right time, right place kind of thing. They were looking for heavy, and I don't think they could find anybody else on the roster who was as big, so it worked.
Who could carry them each in one arm as he walked away?
Basically.
And then as part of that, you know, Anthony Musso came in as the wedding singer, and then you guys became a tag team, and you were 2/4 of the longest reigning 400 North Tag Team Champions. And you guys had like really great chemistry in the ring. When did you realize that like there was something there with the two of you?
I'm not even sure on that. I think it was just like, at first it's like, I don't know how long we're going to do this for, so we just didn't really, we came up with like, I stole, like the bigger move we were doing was just like the sidewalk slam double team, and I just kind of stole that from something Travis and Moore and I were doing, of okay, what can I do out of this? It's nice and easy to get into. Cool, and then we were kind of, just worked, and then it was just kind of, it just kind of vibed well, I think, so we just stuck with it. It lasted for longer than I think either one of us expected.
No, and it worked really well. I know like you team with Travis Moore, who is not quite the same build as an Anthony Musso.
No, he's very different builds,
yeah.
Much smaller.
Yeah, you're not going to come up with Musso sitting on your shoulders?
I probably could.
You probably could. The stage might not.
The stage might be a little tricky at this show.
But it's still a similar, like, not to pull back the curtain too much, but like he's still good as like the getting beat up guy, the bump and feed guy, and then you are a heck of a hot tag, good sir.
Thank you.
And I guess this is a later question, but I'm going to slide it in here. So I've heard of like British strong style and like Japanese strong style. Is Schomberg strong style taking a dude and beat another dude with him? Because that seems to be your favorite offensive move.
I definitely enjoy beating a dude with another dude, and I think that really just came from like seeing, I think it was on Twitter, it was a video of like two guys were just jumping another guy in like a bar or something, and he just like knocked one of them out, picked the guy up, and just swung him at the other guy, and I'm like, okay, that's perfect. So with like Travis especially, because he's a smaller guy, so using him as a weapon is nice and easy, but then using your opponent to beat your opponent is way more fun.
I believe John Greed and Jody Threat have also done that a couple times. What's the Wolverine Colossus, like the Cannonball Special or whatever?
Fastball Special.
Fastball Special, yeah, where Jody just jumps in Greed and Greed just throws her at opponents. It's very effective offense.
It is, especially if Travis would probably do very well at that because he's a bit of a Wolverine in himself.
Yeah, I think to be that size in a wrestler, I got a lot of respect for that because you got to be nuts. But you, through the royal family, you've been in a couple of Wild Rovers matchups. You were part of the Kylo wedding. Still one of the funnier moments is you jamming the dress on Alexia Nicole and trying really hard not to corpse. You were there for the hardest crock shot in the history of mankind when Musso got dropped. Is there one ridiculous moment that really stands out to you from your time here in Barrie that that's just something that's embedded in your mind?
I think it's not actually something I was in the match for, but for Puff and Ricky's old stuff when it was them as the tag team team. Before we were like, we went and took it from them.
Yeah.
They were doing some ridiculous stuff early on, and I was making sure they had everything ready. So I was backstage getting everything ready, and it was some Easter named match. It was Puff and Ricky against Saber and Warmack. And when they did the egg toss part, and Ricky took the big egg. See, I already got you going on.
Yep,
And Ricky, we set this hoop up on the side of a pole, and then the goal was they had to throw an egg through. So Ricky and Puff, they got one of those giant Easter eggs, and Ricky threw it. And I guess Ricky's not very good at throwing things, and it went straight over the top rope and smashed directly on the floor. And instead of it just bouncing, because we kind of thought it was kind of plastic, it just shattered and went everywhere. So everybody's crying laughing at that. And then there was a second one. So they went and picked up Warmack picked up the second one to throw it. And they're like, whoa, they stopped him. And I'm like, no, you need us. And they gave him just one of the tiny little plastic Easter egg ones. And he took it, and he threw it. And everyone's like, there's no way he's going to make it in. And then it just curves through the air and goes in. And everyone's like, and everybody in the match, everybody in the building just stopped and was like, I can't believe that just happened.
Well, and it wasn't supposed to happen. It's like an accidental pinfall 3 count where you're like, what do we do?
So everybody stopped, then everybody corpsed, and then they went, well, there's still one more fall, so let's keep going. It's best 2 to 3.
So the reason I started laughing is so on commentary, we can hear Alan Taylor from production, and I hear it in my ear, and I will clean this up. I can't believe I'm saying this, but can we get the effing hoop in the shot? Or can we make sure we have the effing hula hoop in the shot? And Jim and I are on commentary trying to keep a straight face. I've often joked that if we had the alternate Alan Taylor commentary, it would have to be on Patreon or something, so we wouldn't be allowed to put it on YouTube or IWTV. That's an angry British man, but no, that was good. I think that's also when Warmack knocked Saber into next week when Saber was dressed up as the Easter Bunny and got his head uppercutted right off.
Yeah, the most brutal looking European uppercut, I think, would put Cesaro or Claudio Castagnoli to shame. Yeah. He just rocked Saber.
Well, based on his recent actions, couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Oh yeah, not at all.
You grew up playing hockey and lacrosse, and if my research is correct, you were a 2014 SRLL champion with the Schomberg Red Wings.
We were 3 straight, so we went back to back to back.
Were you this size then? Because I feel like that's an unfair advantage.
I was a little bit shorter. Honestly, I don't think I grew too much after I stopped playing. It's definitely a lot lighter. But yeah, we were pretty big. People generally would assume I played defense. I was not. I was a left wing. I would go sit in front of the net, like Zdeno Chara when he beat the Leafs in 2013. And I would sit there and I would put everything into the back of the net that I got my stick on once it was in front of the net.
I'm just flashing to I recently saw a clip of Zion Williamson playing high school basketball, and it's against a bunch of guys that look like me. It's just sorry, but I bring this up. First off, I'm going to have to find some old Grizzly Mack hockey highlights on YouTube. But how did the physicality of hockey and lacrosse prepare you for pro wrestling? Because those are tough sports.
They are, but for lacrosse, I was actually a goalie.
You're insane.
I was a goal. It was box lacrosse. It wasn't field lacrosse. I'm not that insane.
You're still insane.
So I played goalie in lacrosse, and that was nice because I took up. Most lacrosse goalies already take up the entire net.
Yeah.
So it was nice and easy. But yeah, it was not as much physicality when I was playing goalie because if you touch the other, like you're allowed to, unlike hockey, to actually touch
Yeah.
the goalie if they leave their crease, but nobody touches. Nobody in their right mind actually goes and runs the goalie over because you're about to get murdered by an entire roster.
I have to tell a story. Really, Kings playoffs last year against Orangeville. Loose ball, the defenseman went back to play it. The goalie came out. Our guy, Aiden Colebrook, ran over the defenseman. Goalie picked it up, ran over the goalie, picked it up, and scored on the empty net, and nobody touched him. And I remember one of our coaches was like, I would have fought him. I'm like, really? He's like, I would have lost, but I would have fought him. This dude is big. But, like, to playing all those physical sports, though, and then becoming a wrestler, like, did your body already kind of know how to take some punishment?
Yeah, I think there's already quite a bit of like the punishment built in. I had also played a lot of basketball, so I was in the paint a lot, so that was nice and physical as well.
You weren't a point guard?
No.
And at what point did you pivot from, like, playing more traditional sports to, like, I'm going to get into pro wrestling?
So I stopped playing any real traditional sports in grade 11, or at the end of grade 11. Going into grade 12, we were getting ready for the last year of hockey, and we kind of, because we played at a small center, so you already knew there was no like, well, maybe I'll be on this team or this team. There was going to be one team. Already knew it. The team didn't get along the year before. It was coming off the back of like multiple championships, and then a couple guys left, and the chemistry on that team. Well, they weren't great chemistry before that, but but when you're winning, nobody's complaining.
Yeah.
The second you start losing, everybody's at each other's throat. It just wasn't fun anymore. Kind of regret not playing that last year because I missed out on one more year of hockey. But ultimately, like it just wasn't fun. It was a chore to go to games. We were terrible that year. I think we went 25-1.
Oh.
So we had went from like, and in 2 years before we went 25-1. So the chemistry in the team completely imploded within 2 years.
Wow.
We had a couple guys leave because like as you get like different age groups and guys move on. But
Yeah, AA, AAA, things like that. Yeah.
you know, yeah, and like guys are moving on, but the chemistry imploded, and then like we were losing games. Like we lost a couple games, like 13-1, and guys are in there, they're blaming each other for the loss. And it's like, guys, we just got beat 13-0. We suck. This isn't like oh, we played a really good game and then somebody scored on our own net with 2 seconds left, and it's like, okay, no, that's clearly his fault we lost.
Yeah.
This was, they were up 5-0 before some of the guys on our team even got to play that game. Like, the team sucks. There's nothing, stop blaming each other. We just suck. Maybe if somebody came to practice, we might get better.
This is like Angola in the locker room in like the 92 Olympics after playing the Dream Team being like, man, if you could have guarded Barkley better, we would have only lost by 60.
Yeah, that's
So that ended, and then wrestling.
It was a couple of years. I went to university, but it was kind of in the back of my mind. And then, so I was living in Thunder Bay for 2 years. Dropped out because I realized I didn't want to do it, but I had a job, so I went back up there. And then I was coming back for like a full-time summer job. And basically the week I got home, Josh Alexander announced he was opening his school. And I went, okay, I got my last paycheck from the job up there. And I took that paycheck and immediately sent it to him.
Good decision. It's a heck of a guy to learn from.
That was exactly it. It was very much well, if he's going to open a school 5 minutes from my house in Schomberg, nothing's in Schomberg, so I read it and it's like, there's no way it puts that. Where is he? Scarborough? No. Oh, it is. Fuck. Well.
You're not the first.
So I was like, okay. So I immediately messaged him, chatted with him, and then very quickly, I think it was less than a month actually after he announced it, it actually opened up. So then we were there right until I think it was 11 months, and the day he had to shut down because we had lost the building. So we shut down on Thursday. The next day is when when everything shut down for COVID.
Oh, wow.
So we lost. So that was great. There was a lot of guys, there was a couple, but from Josh's school, the only two people that were because we had other people who came in occasionally, but from his school, there's only two of us that were his actual students that are still around. It's myself and Jody Threat.
Yeah.
Everybody else has gone.
She's also a pretty good person to learn from.
Yeah, now she's got her place at New Wave with everybody there, and that's going to be a fantastic school. I've spent time training with pretty much everybody there already.
Yeah, shout out New Wave.
Yes. So that shut down, and then COVID, and then I think it was almost a full year before I was able to get back in a ring, just because we couldn't open anything up.
Yeah. And then you guys had the barn for a bit. I don't know
Yeah.
if you still have the barn?
No, the barn shut down. It was only open for a couple months. It shut down by the winter.
Oh,
So it was
okay.
only open for a few months.
Filmed the All-Ontario Cup in that barn.
We did. I wasn't actually there for it. I think that's the most recent thing Barrie's done that I was not there for.
Yeah, you've been a pretty big staple around here, and hopefully for a while to come. Although, I mean, if you end up moving on to better places, I'll also, just don't forget, the other people that you came up with.
Gotta show support to who helped you get where you're going.
Yeah, from the bustling metropolis of Schomberg, Ontario. So, 2 more questions for you. One, what is your primary goal in wrestling or out in the next 18 months? So before the end of 2026, your number one goal is blank.
I want to win more tag team gold with Travis Moore. Spend more time getting tag matches with Travis and showing that it's we're a good tag team. We know what we're doing.
So throwing Travis Moore at more people.
Yes.
All right. And where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on social media at Grizzly Mack with 2 Ks. Please do not add a third. That is not what I'm like. I swear. I get what the vibes sometimes look like, but I swear to God that is not.
You are the opposite of that. You might be the biggest ally I know physically.
Yeah, no. I think so. Mainly on Twitter and Instagram. I do not have a Facebook for wrestling. I do have a TikTok. You might occasionally see something get reposted there, but I'm not actively posting anything there. So Instagram and Twitter would be your place to find me.
And on Canada Day weekend, they can probably find you at Donnelly's?
Probably Donnelly's after the matches.
Yes.
Probably find me at Donnelly's right after this is filmed, after the show tonight.
There you go. Shout out Donnelly's.
There we go.
All right, Grizz, well, thank you so much. Said 1/4 of the longest reigning 4 North Tag Team champs. And have fun tonight. And again, thanks so much for joining me.
Will do. Thanks for having me.
Back with more Getting No soon.